Okay, what if I told you that you could make a boat sail using nothing but your own breath? It sounds a little crazy, right? Kind of like magic. Well, today we're going to show you how a little bit of basic physics can feel exactly like that. Let's dive in.
So yeah, that's the big puzzle for today. How in the world can you turn plain old air into a force that's strong enough to actually move a boat? It seems kind of impossible, but you know what? The answer is way simpler than you'd think. Let's break it down.
So first things first, we've got to see if we can actually build this thing, a boat that runs purely on air. And you know what the best part is? We're going to do it with stuff you probably have sitting around your house at this very moment.
Yeah, you can forget about needing some high-tech lab or fancy equipment for this. We're about to take some super common everyday items and turn them into a really powerful and really fun physics lesson. This is science you can find right in your kitchen junk drawer. All right, that's enough talk. It's time to actually get our hands dirty. Are you ready to build your very own science project? Let's get to it.
And seriously, when I say simple, I mean really simple. You're going to need just 3 things: a piece of cardboard, a regular drinking straw, and 1 balloon. Yep, that's it. That's the whole list.
And putting it together is an absolute breeze. First, just cut that cardboard into something that looks like a boat. It doesn't have to be pretty. Then, stick the straw on there so it's standing up. That'll be your mast. And finally, just tie the balloon onto the back end of your boat.
And just like that, our boat is ready. So now comes the really fun part, the launch. This is the moment we've been waiting for, the big payoff.
So here's what you do. Just blow up the balloon, pinch the neck real tight so no air escapes, and then, whenever you're ready for the magic, just let it go.
And whoa, there it goes. You should see your little boat just glide forward, zipping across the water, all powered by the air escaping that balloon. It's such a simple but awesome example of physics in real life.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of why that just worked, just a real quick word on safety. You know, even with a simple experiment like this, it's always smart to wear some goggles, make sure your area is clear, and keep any long hair or loose clothes tied back. Always better to be safe.
So watching that little boat go is super cool, right? But the real fun, the real aha moment is figuring out how it all works. So what's the secret? What's the science that makes it move? Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. We're about to pull back the curtain and look at the actual physics that makes this whole thing possible. It's all thanks to a secret law of motion.
And that secret is one of the most famous and fundamental rules in all of physics, Newton's third law of motion. You've definitely heard this one before, right? For every single action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
So let's connect the dots with our boat. The action is the balloon forcefully pushing air out backwards. And so, the reaction is the boat getting pushed forward in the opposite direction. It really is that straightforward.
You can think of it like a perfect push and pull. The air gets shoved backwards, and in return, the boat gets shoved forwards. Action and reaction, working together in perfect opposite harmony. Now, here's what's so cool about this. This isn't just a neat trick for a toy boat. This exact law of physics is at work all around us, all the time, in some pretty huge ways. Let's look at a few bigger examples.
I mean, just think about a rocket launching into space. It's basically just a giant, way more powerful version of our balloon boat. The engines blast hot gas down, that's the action, and that incredible force pushes the entire rocket up into the sky, that's the reaction. It's the same exact principle for a jet engine moving a plane, or even something as simple as a swimmer pushing off the wall of a pool to start a race.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that this powerful law of motion isn't just something you memorize from a textbook. It's actively happening everywhere all the time, from a tiny cardboard boat to a gigantic rocket breaking through the atmosphere.
And that kind of brings us to a final thought for you. Now that you know exactly what to look for, where else do you notice this action and reaction thing happening in your daily life? I'll bet once you start looking, you'll start seeing it absolutely everywhere.